testing the Hyper-Tough 12-volt digital inflator. I just picked it up. It was $49.99. We're going to be seeing, number one, we're going to be checking, and we're going to be testing it out real quick. So hang in there, should be interesting, and we'll get back to it. All right, so the Hyper-Tough 12-volt digital inflator, I believe it is supposed to turn on as soon as we plug it in. Nope, doesn't. So have to turn it on. It has a battery readout. It reads the pressure in the tire. It's also supposed to have automatic cutoff, which can be programmed. I believe this tire is a 51 PSI. Let me double check that. Yes, this tire is a 51 PSI tire. It is on 35 right now. So we will, this will be programmable. You run up the pressure on it. I like my tires to be about 50%, so we'll run it 44.5, and we will, oops, let's see here. It does have a mode where you can and you can change the, so we're going to run the pressure up 44.5. It's supposed to automatically cut off that pressure. And it cut off at first. All right, so that was all 4 tires that were low on air. And it only used 1 bar of battery. So that's pretty good considering the fact that it only comes with a 1.5 amp hour battery. Now they do, of course, make a 2, a 4, and a 6 amp hour battery that will fit this. They do have, of course, it comes with a charger, so you can plug it in and charge it. They make a fast charger station for these batteries. But the reason why I bought this is I was looking for something that was lightweight, compact. It does have a light on it that goes into a flash mode. I'm going to check and see how bright this light is. Of course, it's incorporated, but it's small enough that if you needed to, you could use it. But I'm going to check. I'm going to add to this to see just how bright it is later. Initial the initial impressions. It's lightweight. It seems to do very well for extended runs. Every tire on this was about 10 pounds under where I like them, in accordance to their weight, according to their pressure ratings. So it put about 10 pounds in each one of them, which means it essentially aired up a full-size car tire on a battery. It has auto power off. And it did maintain the memory, the preset memory for every tire as I moved it around. So I didn't have, once it's set, as long as it doesn't cut off, you don't need to reset it for your pressure cutoffs. One thing about compressors, they usually get rather warm. This one surprisingly is not that warm, and it's, you know, it's small, it's lightweight. Not sure exactly what the weight is on it with the battery in it, but for its size and for what it can do, it's supposed to be rated at 140 psi, I think 0.4 of a CFM. It's small, it's compact. If I'm going to keep running it, and if it holds up, I'll show you what I've got that I'm considering to replace it with. Which I like this compressor that I keep in my truck. This is one I bought a couple of years ago. It's also a hyper tough. I don't think they make this model specifically anymore. I think they've come up with a different model, but it's similar to this. This one, of course, has the removable work light. I don't know if the batteries may be dead, and yeah, I'm gonna have to replace the batteries in this. Uses 2 AAA batteries, but when it's plugged in, the work light on it is pretty bright. But this one I have modified with a longer cord. It was originally supposed to maintain that, but it don't work. It never works out that well. So I added a longer cord to it. But this one, I think, was rated at 150 psi. It was a what they call truck mode. Of course, I got one of these quick detached from Temu. Guess what? It's getting another one. This one I'll probably put in my van and replace this one in my service truck with it. Because it's just mainly for topping off tires, or if you get a spare that's bad or something like that, somebody in the parking lot or something. I'm curious about the battery life on these. Like I said, for all 4 tires, it used 1 bar on the battery indicator. I'm going to see how long it runs down. Of course, I do have a ratchet that uses these batteries, so I will keep that in mind as I go forward. I did have a 6 amp hour battery ordered that I've been meaning to see how it runs with it in there. But right now, like I said, initial impressions, small, lightweight, compact. The hose does store on the body of the compressor, so you've got this neat little storage track that the hose clips into, and it does come with, of course, your inflation accessories. So if you wanted to, it would be great, to either keep in the back of a car or something like that. Biggest thing is, of course, you want to make sure your battery's fully charged. The only advantage I see to one that's corded over one that's not, the corded one, if your car cranks and runs, you can use the corded one. The cordless one, I prefer, if you can't get your vehicle to, or the battery's dead on the car or something like that, or you just don't have access to air. Like I said, the biggest thing is, just charging the battery. Now, here's what's funny, which I wish that Hyper Tough would look into. Their 20 volt tools, they have on some of their smaller tools, like their 4 volts and stuff, will charge off USB-C. Their 20 volt tools have a 2-way USB-C charging mode in them, in the batteries. They will either charge or discharge through USB-C. If they would put the USB-C charging into the 12 volt as well, that would sell it for me completely. I would basically dump all of my other tools for that, because then I could just mount a charger back here and just keep all my batteries mount a battery charging station in the back of my truck so I could just keep fresh batteries. 12 volts so far. Like I've got the ratchet and the 12 volt hyper test. I'm very impressed with it. The ratchet, as far as it's let's put it this way, I've only had to change the battery one time. It's because I used it for like 6 months, but I don't use it regularly. I'm not a professional. I'm just kind of part-time helping people out. Somebody calls, can't get a regular mechanic to come look at their vehicle or something. I go out there and do it. But this is actually pretty good. And like I said, if I put I'm curious, like I said, the 6 amp hour battery, then I know they make a 4. They make this is the small one, the 1.5. I've got a 2. I've got another 1.5. I want to get either the 4 or the 6 amp hour to run them. Like I said, it's lightweight. It comes like this. I would probably fabricate some kind of hanger to mount it, like on some kind of magnetic hanger to hang it on the side of my toolbox there or something. That's something I'd look into later. But for right now, initial impressions, for $50, this is actually so far, with a battery. Comes with a battery, and it's 12 volt. I'm impressed with its performance. Ask me again in 6 months. We'll see how it does in 6 months. Like I said, I've had this one for a couple of years now. I actually had more than that, but I have given my compressors to my kids, and so they'll have compressors, and they've broken and stuff like that. So just as like I said, initial impressions, this one right here is rather smooth. It inflates pretty fast too. High output. Like I said, we'll see how well it maintains that performance. Number one, as the battery depletes and as it goes forward. But I am going to add to this video about the battery, about the light test, to see. I mean, you really can't really get an idea of how it does, but it's fairly bright. We'll come out here when it's dark and test it out for sure. But initial impressions, this actually seems to be a pretty solid piece of equipment. But we'll check it and see. As always, again, I'm Sugarman1976. Thanks for watching, and can I hang on for just a second? We'll come back and do the battery test on it. So, hang out. All right, so I'm sitting here in the dark, so I figure that's the best way of any to test the light. You can see my thing, so let's get it turned around here. Woo! Yeah, that's pretty bright. So it gives you an idea how bright the light is before you invest in one. Of course, the little flasher light. Alright, well, that's all for this video. So do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Occasionally I'll throw up little vlog videos like this just to kind of fill in some spaces, so you can kind of get an idea of whether stuff like this is worth buying. I don't do very many videos like this. I think I've only done one. So everybody take care. I'll talk to you later.